Alright, so welcome back to another video. So as we left off before, we're going to go ahead and run the T1 area in Hospital, Abandoned Warehouse, and Abandoned Raid Shelter now. Actually, let me make sure I drop off everything. So everything is pretty much like before. The only difference is I did get some extra food. And a little bit of time has passed since last video, so as you can see by me having some water. That's just because the server decides to launch at 2 AM and I'd rather not be playing from 2 to like 8 AM. So we need to drop off the T2 cards because we're not running purple rooms right now. We need to drop off the... Yes, we are looking for another intermediate component today. That would be the ideal situation. If we can get one, that means that we are on business for future. So, alright, so everything should be fine. We have everything ready. We are ready for PvP. As ready as you can be this early, I guess. We're gonna have to remove this from hotbar, put on our medkits. So PvP is a actual very real thing. As you've seen in past videos. It's not as great early on, because shotgun is really trash for PvP. And so are pistols. So ideally we can get that extra gun part and we can actually make ourselves a SCAR. Because that would be our ideal situation that we're at. I guess someone is doing barrels. Ah, yes, the guy with the machete, basically. He might want to come fight us, actually. Not really sure, we'll see. So we are actually more geared than we seem because skin overpowered, honestly. Because it does make it seem like you're not geared when you're geared. Where the green monster went. I still have no idea where it went. Okay. Apparently it's now just downstairs. If I remember correctly, I have to go over here. Here. Flip this switch. I believe, yeah, once that. I'm not gonna question why it's downstairs. I'm just gonna stuff. Oh. Sometimes. Okay, so we have cleared out this area. Nothing too bad. Got unlucky in the first chest. Let's see. Did we get lucky in the second? I mean, fused and medkit is not bad. great, mind you, but not bad either. Okay, we got another level Tiki card. That's actually fine. Let me actually make sure I have those turned on. I do. Okay. So now getting out of here might be a jam if that guy is camping us. He's not, so we are actually just gonna run straight up. And we're actually gonna do this drop down like I did before. It's just a free crate that really no one ever grabs. And people really don't expect you to be running out from the roof. Like if they're going to be camping you, they might be camping that downstairs area. Which, as you saw, we bypassed. So, I mean, overall, like not the greatest, but not the worst either. Do I have any bad bandages? I do not. So I guess we're just gonna heal over time. So now we are heading out to the abandoned warehouse, and then we are gonna go down to the the raid shelter. Now, I don't really think I can get a better melee. I guess I can, technically speaking. It's just not likely. You can get a Machete Day one, as you saw earlier. He could have premium. That is another thing about this game, is I would like to have shown a video or series with it. But as of right now, they do not allow like you can't spend money yet. So that is out of the table. Let's see, what is up here? Nothing good. Okay, so I'm hoping that we get into PvP after we get into the T2 areas. But that's when it becomes fun. Like we start killing the giant mech and everything like that. That's when the game and PvP can get a bit more intense. But it also is a game about numbers, so being a solo, you're always gonna be in kind of a pickle. But as is life of a solo in any game, honestly. It's like anything like Rust or like Last Island of Survival, or even like Ark, you are always going to be behind as solo. Now, there is not really a better way of getting ahead of the solo in this game. So, as a solo, your best bet is actually just rush ahead. Like, rush as much as you physically can. Because if you were the most geared, then you actually can come out on top, like a lot of PvP fights. Because this game is very gear dependent. You know what? We're just gonna use a medkit here, make sure I'm full HP. So medkit, I believe, restored 800 health, which later on it does not become anything. Because in this game you actually, ooh yes, we actually got that other component, let's go. Okay, that's huge. That means that when we get home we can try to build our first actual gun. Which is actually pretty big. That is... I'd say that's probably the first major step for solo. Rushing at least a good gun. Because you're not gonna get anywhere using a SCAR. Like I'm sorry, or a shotgun, sorry. You're not gonna get anywhere, honestly. It can work. You can kill someone with it. It's just the numbers that it gives you does not actually equate to an actual number. Because it will tell you, like, you got 10 30s, and it doesn't actually mean 300 damage that you would originally think it means. Basically, it's some of the numbers that it gives you are invalids. So you could think that you're winning the fight, but they could still have an extra, 2,000 health because you thought you took away 2,000, but you really took away like 500. Now the pistol is at least a bit more accurate in its damage, but it is still not very accurate. It's not until you start getting into like the AKs, the scars, that you start really seeing an actual number mean something. And that is also because the damage numbers themselves will get reduced by armor. So because they're reduced by armor, the damage that you're actually doing is very little. And also, as for solo, the way to see if there is anyone above you per se, doing better than you, you check this control station, and you want to check this repair log. So the fact that it says nothing right now is actually huge for us, because that means that no one has done a T2 boss yet. Or, well, T2 mini boss at least. So that, as a solo, that's a very good indicator on the server saying there is not a big group here. Because if I was with the normal 7 or 8 men that I was with, we would have already turned in 10 to 20 of those. So the fact that there's none is actually a very good indicator, at least, for how progressed the server is. At least the highest group is. Because there's no reason for that bigger group to not turn in everything they can. Because when they turn it in, they actually get 100 of these pokers, which means that they can get a bunch of wood or whatever is it that they need at the time to keep progressing. Generally, I just use them for wood personally, as farming wood is probably the most tedious and boring thing ever. It's easy, yes, but being easy does not make it better. So we are going to run down. Now, as you can see, I'm already in the dungeon without being in the place. I don't know why they expanded to be so wide, but it is fair enough, honestly, because it's the only PvP areas right now. So you do have to be careful, and it looks like there is actually a person living right across. So this person might actually be in here currently. Now, do we care about them being in here? Not necessarily, even if they did it. Because we're just here for that 10 chest. If we kill the boss, so be it. But it's not a big deal for us if we do or don't. Because it doesn't really give you anything. It's just an extra mob to kill really, because that's not really a boss per se. Yeah, so they already left a while ago, it seems. So you're gonna have conflicting information on the top of the screen. Top right, so you see that there's stronghold refresh in 23 minutes. It means that the stronghold will be refreshing in 23 minutes. The chest refresh means that that's when the chests will respawn in each of the strongholds. You get one daily, and then the chest is just showing that did you get the chest yesterday? So in this case, yeah, we don't get to fight the mini boss, which honestly is fine because it doesn't drop anything of value. I maybe would have gotten like a purple chip that I'm never gonna use in a long time. So honestly, it's probably for the better. As it is, I'm gonna have to drop some stuff. Okay, so we got all the science points of the T1 areas. We did all of the T1 chests already. This video is like, what, an extra 15 minutes long? Yeah, so like, from when I last off last night, it was about 15 more minutes of gameplay that I could have done, but at 2 AM that's just not worth it. Now, I thought when I woke up today that there'd be groups progressed already, and like already doing T2 bosses, but as we saw earlier from the console, apparently that was not the case. Oh, there actually is someone here. They're actually right over here probably, based on that indicator of the shots. No? No, I'm curious. Am I gonna find them? I hear gunshots, but no. Okay, it's probably just one of the glitches or whatever. So sometimes mobs will spawn, but not actually spawn. So I think you probably will hear it. It's like the weird gunshot that's going off, like the... So that is what like a rifleman will sound like when they're shooting. And obviously they were not shooting at me. So who were they shooting at? Because I ran by only the melee guard. So obviously melee guard does not shoot. So more than likely that there is just some glitch, like rifleman sitting somewhere. And it could be trying to shoot me or someone else, who knows, honestly at this point. So at this point I don't see anything. So we're just gonna go ahead and leave. Now, the only reason I thought there could be someone here is because there is actually a base right there. And you can just run straight up to the red zone and see if the door is opening. So they could have been preparing to try to counter me, but it looks like it was not necessarily the way that it went. So now that we went through and we did everything, next up it's sadly gonna be a bunch of farming. So I think I am gonna pause the video here, just showing you where we currently are. And then I will resume the video probably when I get back, because I don't think people want to see me farming all the way back to base, because the main reason I'm farming is if you look at weapons, or sorry, armor. So we need the chest plate and we need the pants. So the chest plate requires us to get these iron plates. So we require 20, so we need 200 per iron gear. So we're getting a total of 400 refined iron. So that's gonna be the grind that I have to do real quick, and then I will be right back as soon as I do it. Alright, so we are back. So I'm starting to cook up the 470 refined iron I found. Now we do need to go ahead and I will note that my base is not going to be organized, and that is mainly in the fact that there is not actually enough room to organize, and majority of the stuff is actually just gonna go pretty much away or in the trash as soon as I'm physically able to. So we're gonna go ahead and put away our fuse and everything, so we actually do need to go out and go farming again. So I will not bore you guys with that, but I just wanted to show getting back home. I'm gonna show myself doing whatever I can at least, just that way people are not like surprised when something happens. So we actually are gonna be going for the better pickaxe, and then we are actually just gonna beeline down this tree because we actually desperately need both the level 3 workbench and we also need the electric pick, which is way down here, electric drill. So now you're gonna see me just go straight down this line. Like, guns are nice, but you can find guns. You cannot really find armor. So so let's see, can we build the better pickaxe? So it's going to require a level 2 workstation. So what do we require for workstation? 100 of those. Well, I guess we are going to wait on that then. So I will be right back. So I just have to go farm a bunch of stone, some sulfur. Really just stone and sulfur, I guess. Yeah. Oh, this is a big thing actually. So this is actually the first world boss that appears. We currently do not have anything for it. We are getting there. If I wanted to dump a bunch of iron down the drain, I could probably make the scar and I could probably go kill it, but we're gonna give it a little bit. If it's still there in like an hour or two, we'll definitely go kill it, and I'll show you guys the world boss. It's just a mech, it's nothing special, but it is like the first mention of a world boss. Generally happens about 6 to 10 hours until reset. So it is nearing day 2, so basically is what that's saying. So I will be back after I do my farm run and I'll show you what I got and then we'll go from there.